Oh, hello everyone. How you doing? I even caught myself off guard on that one. But hey, I trust everyone is in good spirits and that you had just a wonderful day yesterday in the many different ways that people celebrate the 25th. So whatever your particular flavor, trust it was a good one. It was a good one here. Just Brad, how are you doing? Just seeing some people in here. Hoppinchin, Hopchin, Hoppinchin. There we go. Okay, flight, flight risk. I love it. Death and destruction. How are you? D Truth. How you doing? And good to see you. Lori, hello. Man, there's so many of y'all. Thank you for stepping in. So just looking at some of the comments as they're rolling through. How was your day yesterday? Relaxing, stressful, challenging, let's say fulfilling. There we go. We can go through a whole number of different things. I got to tell you, I just want to say hello to everyone. Man, a lot of people here. So thank you for all the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Mrs. B, how are you? Claire 74, Bear, Grown, good to see you. Ellie, good to see you. Joe, Sapiens, how are you doing? We're going to get Joe. Joe, I want to do a show with you. I think this guy is going to bring us some enlightenment to 2019 as well. Just trying to keep up here. I think that was Trenzado. I think that was Mike B. Boy, I got to get that Evelyn Wood advanced course on speed reading. Eyes to see. How you doing? All American. How are you? No, let's see. Wayne, do you know any knowledge of the Gulf Stream stopping in 2010? I don't know about stopping, but I do know for a fact. I think I'm going to have to think of the person I got this from, but 30% slowdown. Now, 30% slowdown in the Gulf Stream, that ain't good. And I think it's going to get worse. Bill, how are you doing? James, good to see you. Consciously aware, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, Joanne, good to see you. Sarah K and Brian, Milky Way Weekly. Brian saw just a couple of your shows. Good to see you. Marguerite, good to see you as well. Well, folks, Ron, good to see you. Man, welcome. Thank y'all for, making my journey exciting. So 2019, here we go. We have all the predictions, all the prognosticators coming in, give us your prediction. And isn't it odd? It's the same thing we asked in 2018. And so now as 2018 goes into the abyss of the annals of another chapter of man's journey, what would you say? Do you think we found out what we were looking for in 2018? Do we go back and look at, did 2018 fulfill what many of us thought? I personally think that 2018 for me, a year of growth would be an under estimate of the word. Tremendous. It was almost like I don't know, dare I say, began to find the connection. Does that make sense? I mean, this is a journey of epochs, folks. And, as I was having a discussion over these last 4 days with some people, was that after this, I think it's wonders beyond wonders. Who knows? I don't believe in the recycling thing. Again, as I explained very succinctly, how could there be just one physical plane? And if you do go for reincarnation, when did the species jump? I mean, what? This only started with sapiens? Was that when the karmatic cycle began? Really? I mean, how about Homo antiquus, Homo erectus? I wonder if they'd have a few words to say. You see, the journey, folks, it's so beyond what we can think. But we're in this journey right now, all of us. And so 2019, been meditating on this. And, when I thought about this, I said, all right, let's look at this from a different perspective. For those of you who play strategy games, now a lot of video games are predicated really on a foundation of chess. It really is. So if you look at chess, which has been around for a while, backgammon, all games of strategy. And as any person who's good at strategy games, as life is, will tell you that an advanced master, an advanced initiate, an advanced player of the game, Bobby Fischer, how many of you remember him, the great chess player? It was how early machine learning started in understanding complex strategies. And so the thing with chess, even with backgammon, is that you look 3 to 5 moves ahead in order to execute. Novices that begin to play the game never understand that how you begin your approach, particularly in the first 5 moves, tells your opponent everything about you. So anyway, let's get to the point of 2018. Personally, I don't think 2018 was all that disruptive. I mean, it has really been a year that I think the chess pieces have been moved on the table. I do. And if you just simply look at this merely from a strategist point of view, if you can uncheck yourself from your biases, we all have them, that's the great thing about understanding. Once you understand we all have biases, you would be surprised how they begin to just melt away. But it's inherent in all of us in one form, degree of another. I think it's part of our survival mechanism. Next week, I want to do a show on survival. I think spiritual survival is something I don't see. I see it so often distorted in context of theology, ideology, or philosophy. But I often wonder if spirit strategy is something all of us are, I don't know, implementing. It seems like some of us are more advanced where spirit survival is concerned. There has to be an advanced part of spirits. There has to be. I contend that we're immortal. Maybe we don't acquire all the knowledge. I think that would be a terrible disservice from the Creator, the All, to give us all knowledge. No, 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 no. Let us struggle. Let us continue to have to earn the knowledge. Because, as the great philosopher said, the wisest man that was around, with knowledge comes great suffering. And I think we all can admit that the more we get to understand things, the more we begin to see things. It ain't pretty, folks. And some people can't handle the burden. It breaks them. So spirit survival, think about that. So 2018, a year where I think the chess pieces have been moved. I think most of the world was so distracted with so much inundation of information. Information inundation may be, in fact, the thing that sinks our civilization. obviously these human brains, the way they are right now, have a rev limiter on it. And any of you folks who know anything about racing and what have you, know what a rev limiter is. I mean, the engine can go up to 900 horsepower, but we put a rev limiter on it to make sure it doesn't exceed 5. You see where I'm going? And I think there's a purpose where these brains are concerned in how we process and store information. I think the reason why, if information is given gradually in more appreciable doses, where absorption and filtration can be on an individual cognitive level, I think that that's where some of us excel. But the fact is that as I begin to see this brain that we have, it has a limited capacity of its availability of storing memories. And that's what information is memories. And I think that there is a master record somewhere. I mean, we're all going through this. Each of us are experiencing our own life journey. I call it the death journey. Hopefully, we'll get advanced enough as a species to realize, hey, folks, there ain't no such thing as living forever. I don't think you'd want to be. You know, I did a video on that. If you could live forever, would you? I know. I think there comes a limit, at least in this dimension, this physical plane. I think that there are unlimited amount of physical planes, but yeah, it is said for those who advanced in years, and when I say advanced in years, I'm looking at a centennial, 100 years. And many of them find it as a curse, long life. Again, as I've contend, we all want to live forever, as long as we live in our, teenage or early 20 bodies. Yeah. Invincible we be. But when you say to a person who says, well, I want to live forever, and say, well, here is an animation of what you're going to look like when you turn 90. And they run going, oh, no, Mr. Steiger, I don't want any of that. Well, that's what happens if you want to have long life. And so you see people who endeavor to take good care of their bodies physically. And what they don't understand is that the game is already stacked against us. So serendipity, synchronicity, this group of people here, I mean, come on. I think we're the epitome of the word. I mean, there is so much synchronicity, coincidences I don't believe in. It's outstanding. Good afternoon, Kenneth. Good to see you. Lillian, hello. Tanis, good to see you. And Jason, the rest of you that I haven't said hello. Light Bear, good to see you. I like that name, by the way. David. So, yeah. Living forever. No. There's got to be more to this. And so I think as we begin to look at this journey and begin to realize we have a limited time. All right. I don't think initially it was this short. Convinced of it. I think our genetic code is breaking down because of the manipulation. There's a document that someone sent, and again, I'm talking about this synchronicity. I opened up my email, which I haven't done in a couple of days, and it was like, but as going through as I am, 3 different documents from 3 different individuals who don't know each other, and yet all of them have a common theme. That's weird. Would you not say? And the first one came from an individual, one in our community. I don't like to give y'all's names out because, unless you want the recognition, let me know. I think anonymity has its pluses. We did, Brian. We found each other for a reason. And I want a mulligan. Hey, Patrick, how are you doing? Patrick's going to be on our New Year's Eve show, which, by the way, allow me to digress, as I am subject to do. We got Suji, Brian with Milky Way, Weekly, Karen, Queen of Courts, Sherry McCormick, got Patrick Garrett, and we'll probably add more to it. So, going to be an interesting show. And I think we're going to go ahead and do a show with Claudia as well prior to that. So, anyway, I digress. So, I opened up these emails and allow me to show to you. And if any of you want this, they did give me permission to share this because it was shared to them. So this is a document from the CIA called The Adam and Eve Story. You can see that this document was declassified in part. It was sanitized, approved for release in June 24th, 2013. Wow. I'm reading this, enjoying my hot beverage, and I'm reading this, and I'm going, So first of all, I found this one very interesting. Cross-section of the Earth. Now, I'm assuming these are somewhat speculation in theory. Who knows? This story here, it says, save for, and I don't know if this is pop or what, but I read this, and you have to read this in the term of a control archon, a matrix that fabricates reality. And we live in a fabricated reality. Yeah, we do. I think we've lived in a fabricated reality of particularly the very short period of time. I still contend things changed. And who knows if we'll ever see this, but this was a really interesting document. So this is the story of Adam and Eve by Chan Thomas, Emerson House, Los Angeles, 1965. Wayo, without her help through the years of sleepless nights and seemingly endless trials of study and translation, this book never would have come into being. Well, it's a weird one, folks. I'll make it available to those who want it. It's a read. So here's my point. Look at these dates. Like Noah, 6,500 years ago. Like Adam and Eve, 11,500 years ago. This too will come to pass. So I can't see what's going on in the chat room. I'll see it in the comments later. What do these two dates have in common, ladies and gentlemen? I found it interesting inasmuch that Magician of the Gods, Graham Hancock, it's a textbook, but a great one. The Flare Star, Red Shift, you hear Claudia and I talking about these all the time. Immanuel Valowski's World in Collision, the Bronze Books, the Colburn Bible. I'm just giving you just a number of scenarios. I just got the new David Icke book, reading that one. Yeah. So 6,500 years ago, oddly enough, is about the time when we see the emergence of what can be, for all practical purposes, folks, an advanced culture, a society, dropped out of nowhere. As much as I say that the Sumerians helped bring awareness, a little piece of this puzzle for us, the fact is, even as Noah Samuel, professor who's one of the noted Sumerologists of the world, first one to receive a doctorate in Sumerology, the Sumerians are an enigma. They just dropped out of nowhere, folks. And the thing about it is, they had, this is what freaks me out, figuratively speaking. When you, and I've been now, I'm coming up on my 5th year of studying the things, and I do a lot of reading on Sumerian culture. And I've come to the conclusion these people were transplanted here. There's no record we have prior to them. At least we haven't found yet. Nogobatepe, yeah, I think that is the next piece of the puzzle. But let's stick with the Sumerians. Complete culture. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, here you go. So get the book. This is Samuel Kramer's book, noted the 39 first in recorded human history. Where did that come from? And can someone explain to me how we go to the Bronze Age first, which requires more technology, more learning, more advancement and understanding elements, minerals, metals, and then we revert back to the Iron Age, when iron is very easily accessible, much more than combining to get brass. So 6,500 years ago, I believe, is probably when the deluge did happen. I think we've been so screwed up in our understanding. You know, when you get ignorant men who head up religions, politics, ignorant people, you think they're smart, but they're really dumb. And somehow or another, these jackasses begin to write history. Excuse me. Yeah. All right, so let's look at Adam and Eve, 11,500 years ago. I have a whiteboard you can't see on the other side of my office here. Several of them. What happened 11,800 years ago? A comet hit us. I think it was the passing of a comet that did the same thing to us 6,500 years ago. And I think that there's good evidence to suggest something is afoot. So, oddly enough, the record up in Turkey shows that civilized man was here. That's why I'm saying something happened. Civilized man was walking this earth for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. I think we got the whole timing, the whole chronology wrong here, but hey, who am I? So then along comes Adam and Eve, or whoever got in there. You know, all I know is this: who's ever messed with us, whether it be the reptilians, whoever it is, I don't know. I don't think that they were obviously very advanced. But the reason why, folks, you and I get sick, the reason why we die, the reason why our bodies begin to feed upon itself, and eventually we die because of that, unless there's an extenuating circumstance, blunt force trauma. We know, we've talked about this. The genetic code is breaking down. How the hell do you think that these big pharma come up with more and more drugs? This is what bites my butt. Told every congressman, they're all bought off now. But they got to stop this drug commercials. They're talking advanced, complex chemistry to a dumb society that's so dumb that these sheeple go into their medical professional and advises the one who spent 20 plus years that this is the drug they need because they saw it on television. And none of these drugs, folks, are designed to cure you. They're designed to suck off you like a straw that just never stops giving. So we got a genetic code that's breaking down in us. Someone screwed up in the kitchen. And the point of this document comes out. Oh, y'all want to, you want to go into the new year? Now, I haven't read all of the document. I'm about halfway through, but what I have read, this is what apparently was in the book. With a rumble so low as to be inaudible, growing, throbbing, then fuming into a thundering roar, the earthquake starts. Only it's not like any earthquake in recorded history. In California, the mountains shake like ferns in a breeze. The mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into a mountain of water more than 2 miles high, then starts its race eastward. With a force of 1,000 armies, the wind attacks, ripping, shredding everything in its supersonic bombardment. The unbelievable mountains of the Pacific seawater flows, the wind eastward, bearing Los Angeles and San Francisco as if they were but a grain of sand. Nothing, but nothing, stops the relentless, overwhelming onslaught of wind and ocean. Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind reeks with unholy vengeance. Everywhere, mercilessly, unceasingly, every living thing is ripped into shreds while being blown across the countryside. And the earthquake leaves no place untouched. In many places, the earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white, hot, liquid fire to add to the Holocaust. Within 3 hours, the fantastic wall of water moves across the continent, burying the wind-ravaged land under 2 miles of seething water coast to coast. In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone, and the great cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York, are nothing but legends. Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours before. A few lucky ones who managed to find shelter from the screaming wind on the lee side of Pikes Peak watched the sea of molten fire break through the quaking valleys below. The raging water follows, piling higher and higher, streaming over the molten earth fire and rising almost to their feet. Only great mountains such as this can withstand the cataclysmic onslaught. North America is not alone in her death throes. Central America suffers the same Kennedy, wind, earth fire, inundation. South America finds the Andes not high enough to stop the cataclysmic violence pounded out by nature in her berserk rage. In less than a day, Ecuador, Peru, Western Brazil are shaken madly by the devastating quake, burned by the molten earth, buried under cubic miles of torrential Pacific seas, and then turned into a frozen hell. Everything freezes. Man, beast, plant, and mud, all are rock hard in less than 4 hours. Europe cannot escape the onslaught. The raging Atlantic piles higher and higher upon self, following the screeching wind eastward. The Alps, the Pyrenees, the Urals, the Scandinavian mountains are shaken and heaved even higher before the wall of water strikes. Western Africa and the sands of the Sahara vanish in nature's wrath. Under savage attack by wind and ocean, the area bound by the Congo, South Africa, and Kenya suffers only severe earthquakes and winds, no inundation. Survivors there marvel at the sun, standing still in the sky for nearly half a day. Ladies and gentlemen, my show tomorrow night on Artists First Network, I will be getting into this, and I'll be doing it tomorrow as a prelim. If we go back, ladies and gentlemen, begin to look at the records that have survived the burnings, the purposely hidden, there is something going on a regular basis. It's reported through every holy book, the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, the Hindu Bible, all of them, the Chinese, Aborigines. Something happened in our recent past, whereas the sun stood still, or the earth did. Now, folks, we're going to get into some science here that's just, let me finish, because we got a lot to go and we don't have much time for the day here. Eastern Siberia and the Orient suffer a strange fate indeed, as though a giant subterranean Sith sweeps away the Earth's foundation, accompanied by the wind in its screaming sympathy of supersonic death and destruction. As the Arctic basin leaves its polar home, Eastern Siberia, Manchuria, China, Burma, and are subject to the same annihilation of South America. Wind, earth, fire, inundation, and freezing. Jungle animals are shredded to ribbons by the winds, piled into mountains of flesh and bone, and buried under avalanches of seawater and mud. Then comes the terrible, paralyzing cold. Not man, nor beast, nor plant, nor earth is left unfrozen in the entire Eastern Asian continent, most of which remains below sea level. East of the Urals in Western Siberia, a few lucky people survive the fantastic winds and quakes. Antarctica and Greenland, with their ice caps, now rotate around the Earth into the torrid zone, and the fury of wind and inundation marches on for 6 days and nights. During the 6th day, the ocean starts to settle in its new homes, running off the high grounds. Once the 7th day, the horrendous rampage is over. The Arctic ice is ended. The Arctic Ice Age is ended, and the new Stone Age begins. The oceans, the great homogenizers, have laid down another deep layer of mud over the existing strata in the Great Plains, as exposed in the Grand Canyons, the Painted Desert, and the Badlands. The Bay of Bengal Basin, just east of India, is now at the North Pole. The Pacific Ocean, just west of Peru, is the South Pole. Greenland and Antarctica, now rotating equatorially in the torrid zone, find their ice caps dissolving madly in the tropical heat. Massive walls of water and ice surge towards the oceans, taking everything from mountains to plains in gushings, heaving paths, creating immense seasonal moraines. In less than 25 years, the ice caps are gone, and the oceans around the world rise another 200 feet with the newfound water. The torrid zone will be shrouded in a fog for generations from the enormous amount of moisture poured into the atmosphere by the melting ice caps. And it goes on to basically say that we had a pole shift. The new ice caps begin to form in the new polar areas. Greenland and Antarctica emerge with verdant tropical foliage. Australia is new, unexplored continent in the North Temperate Zone, with only a few handfuls of survivors populating its vastness. New York lies at the bottom of the Atlantic, shredded, melted by earth fire, and covered by unbelievable amounts of mud. Of San Francisco and Los Angeles, not a trace is left. Egypt emerged from the Mediterranean, inundation newer and higher, still the land of ages. The commonplace of our time becomes the mysterious Balak of the new era. A new era, yes, the cataclysm has done its work well. The greatest population regulator of all does once more for man what he refuses to do for himself, and drives the pitiful few who survive into a new Stone Age. Once more, the earth has shifted its 60-mile thick shell, with the poles moving almost to the equator in a fraction of a day. Again, the atmosphere and oceans, refusing to change direction with the earth shells, have wiped out almost all life. After this tumble, we join Noah, Adam and Eve, Atlantis, Mu, Olympus, and Jesus joins Osiris, Turara, Zeus, and Vishnu. As I said, this is a CIA document. We just read, obviously something that the CIA wanted very badly. I think we could all agree with that. Would you not say? So now that was the first document. Okay, and I'm going, all right. So now I was sent another document. Now, I'll just tell you, as far as I'm convinced, as far as I know from what I have seen myself, there is something heading towards us. Now, this is from a guy who many of you may know, John Moore. I'm going to try to reach out and see if get John on the show. So this is from Soul Evolution 2. It appears that in 2014, I think, 2004, this magnetar hit us. Now, I remember almost a decade ago having discussions about this. And I don't know if many of you who are not aware of this, but I think there's foundation to this. We don't know what a magnetar will do to us, but apparently there's one in the direction of Orion. And this document goes on to simply say that if they expect what they think they're expecting, yeah, we're going to get our butts kicked yet again. So again, I got these documents. If you want them, I have a feeling I'll be inundated, but that's okay. I am at your service, as they would say. So, all right, now, so let's just take that little foundation. Got a lot to go back on. I know. We're going to get into that. But for right now, we're just skating along. We're scoping the thing out. So let's take another perspective, ladies and gentlemen, of the other chess pieces. Listen, I think that this is from the local. It's actually right there in Italy. Edna is going to go off, folks. And it's not going to take much for a tsunami of major impact through that whole Mediterranean area. I mean, the magnet chamber is filling up. So anyway, they're aware of it. They know it. Now, this one here, folks, this one, I'll just keep on saying it. We're going to get this to where it becomes almost an auto reflex for us. What this one freaks me out about, and it's what we have been anticipating, that they have these robots. These are singly programmed robots, right? They're given instructions as to how they work. Each contains, okay, so this is a mass of kilobots, minimalistic robots that each contain an LED light, a vibrating motor, and the ability to communicate with other nearby kilobots via infrared signals. And after a human tears a swath through their assembled clusters, the robots organically, intuitively, autonomously reform into a similar shape, guided by nothing so much as their own basic rules. That's intelligence, folks. That's how you define intelligence. And my contention is this: if these are with the kilobots, yeah, I often wonder. No, I'll move on. So again, we're talking about chess pieces, right? How about this one? Scientists find genetic signatures of biological aging. And as I have put out there, I did a video on this. This is why we know someone messed with the kitchen recipe. Apparently, numerous times. Apparently. But some of us age slower than others, and some age faster. Yeah. And I read today where they have actually now broke the genetic code where they say eternal life will be available in these bodies by 2030. I don't know if we'll make it, but yeah, this one is a really, it's on the San Diego Union Tribune. Check it out. Now, I had a good friend of mine, very dear friend. She sent this to me when I did the video that not even YouTube likes. Apparently, there are those that don't like how bad is the tear. Told me everything, YouTube. You guys went and tried to censor it. That's cool. But, you know, all you did was show your hands. There was nothing in that video that was offensive other than free thought, which is the most dangerous thing every control matrix fears the most. That's why they repress it so bad. So, all right, here's the thing, folks. Since 1955, the year that I was born, it seems that we have a marker in us, and generations, and the markers go down because of the saturation of certain isotopes in the atmosphere. Now, all parts of our body, believe it or not, regenerate. Small intestines takes 2 to 4 days. The stomach, 2 to 9. The blood, 1 to 5. White blood cells, 2 to 5. Gastrointestinal colon, 3 to 5. And you can go all the way down here, like the lens in your eyes. That's a lifetime. Female parts, lifetime. And that's why you should speak to your body every morning, folks. Lay hands on yourself. You got the most remarkable healing power in you. Listen, I think it was what the Joker did to counter what they did in the kitchen. I think the Joker gave us something more that was not supposed to be given us. Just my random theory. So anyway, it's different because of all the nuclear testing. I am pointing this out to you folks. So Munchin did something on Sunday which was totally bizarre. because there was another person who sent me a document that says Friday is supposed to be a big bank collapse day. I've heard nothing about this, but I find it awfully curious that someone sends me a document, nearly 600 pages, by the way, of, yeah, things getting really weird. Now, there's something going on. I'm just going to tell you straight up, there is something going on. What Munchin did didn't make sense. And now it's, the market appears to have things together, but I've seen sucker punches before. Just be aware, folks, something is afoot. Mind reading breakthrough, human thoughts watchable on TV screens. Do you ever feel like a prisoner in your own home? World War III. Russia moves missile warship into the, I think it's the Azov Sea, ready for a showdown. Question: will Russia attack the Ukraine? Yes or no? I say yes. He attacked Crimea, didn't have a problem with that. Got a little slap on the wrist. For Putin, it don't matter to him. Excuse me. So are we going to see, is this going to be a line in the sand? I say Putin is. I say he is. China. China tests sub-launched nuclear missiles that can strike America from thousands of miles away. Will China exert its pressure, its strength? Will Russia and China basically be in collusion together to sink the greenback? There's different types of wars. Not all are just with missiles. But what I do find alarming is that China has us outnumbered in the subs way. How about this one? Turkey amasses tanks on the Syrian border. I don't know if this is good or not. We're pulling out of Syria. I mean, is this the precursor to, again, World War III? How about this one? Study links early puberty in girls to chemicals in shampoo, toothpaste, and soap, even if only used by the mother in pregnancy. Now, folks, this ought to just be freaking all of us out. Seriously. There is no safe product, it seems. Everything has petroleum in it. Everything. Shampoo, toothpastes, everything. Yeah. One time. Changing. Girls. Breast, ovarian cancer, testicular cancer in boys, mental illness. We've done this to ourselves. So are we seeing chess pieces? I have all of these stories for a reason, folks. I think each one is a story, a piece within itself. So now it seems like a big old planet came through and kicked Uranus on its side. The massive planet tilts 90 degrees. And so they're saying that this is a simulation now, that the collision happened 3 to 4 billion years ago. I don't believe it. Likely before the larger moons of Uranus formed. No, I think what they're trying to say is that, folks, big things come out here. By the way, What's up with all the meteorites? Have you heard the latest out of Russia? They thought it was an earthquake. They got there. No, no, there was something hit that place big. Um, Completely two sides of a mountain are gone. Trees are laid, strewn on their side for kilometers and kilometers. What's up with Russia, by the way? Seems to be getting hit quite a bit. This one here, I find out that it's just a little freaky. So the story goes, you have a bunch of kids there at a roller skate rink. I did that when I was a kid. Good to see it sticks around. But apparently they put on a song, and by the witnesses that the police interviewed, it was like mass MK Ultra. Boop, you know, and boop, with the song, they broke out in fights. Now they're saying that this had something to do with gangs or something like this, but again, I don't know. I mean, immediately it was like 200 these kids get into a free-for-all. I don't know what's happening on this, but folks, it's here in America. The CDC doesn't know what it is, striking thousands and thousands of children that go to sleep perfectly healthy, wake up paralyzed, limbs limp. And now it's in the UK, folks, whatever it is. We all know about the tsunami that hit on Monday. Yeah. I don't know if how many of you saw the video of the one that was being filmed at the concert that was on the beach. That wall of water, they said, was 65 feet. And again, this was from a landslide that from the volcano that erupted. They called this landslide that brought this, and they're still on high alert. Mount Etna again. It's showing all the signs of eruption. Are we going to see that in 2019? Here's the thing. This gives you a lot of comfort if you live in the United States. The U.S. Air Force is headed for a crash. Too many old planes, not enough cash. We're spending money in the United States government like there's no tomorrow. Wonder why. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so as you can see here, obviously something is going on. Now, I got something else that a friend and I, we've been sharing pictures back, and I want to show you something because, again, something is afoot. And all I'm doing here, folks, is just merely giving you the same pieces that I have. So around the world, we're seeing these structures. Now, take a good look at this one. Wait a minute. And let me get to the next one. So these are atmospheric heaters, folks. Now, I am learning because the individual, I'm getting him to come on and explain this a little bit more to us. So when we start talking about 1.2 gigawatts, I mean, that's like, heating, I think 1 megawatt can heat power 700,000 homes. I believe is what he wrote to me in the email. These are 5 megawatts. 5 million megawatts, excuse me. So what are we seeing here? I don't know. Another one. Why are we seeing these all I can call them, they're ISO atmospheric heaters? Why are they showing up all over the world? Huge. And we're not talking small ones, folks. Are we potentially heading into an ice age? Is something I mean, the coincidences begin again to get too weird. Weird, folks. Look at everything that we've discussed today, just on a chessboard. Would you say that it would be rational to conclude that the pieces definitely seem to be moving into what I call a checkmate year? Is 2019 going to be the year that we begin to see? And let me tell you, I think checkmate works beyond just the physical. I think we're going to see something on a spiritual aspect. The universe and the cosmos is not without soul, spirit. And if it's without soul or spirit, then neither are we. And every event that Earth does is a cleansing. I think Earth has been warning us. I think she's had enough of it. These petulant humans, they don't listen. They think they're in control. They're above the metaphysical. Well, these people talk to planets. Yeah, isn't that just wonderful, you know? Yeah. Yet their sorry ass is alive because of the planet that talks. Yes. Well, folks, it's been fun. Didn't think I'd go the full hour. Yeah, I did. But anyway, listen, I just want to invoke favor upon all of you that are watching. I said it before I ever go on all the shows, but I just invoke favor into all of your lives, and may 2019 be the year that nothing is missing and nothing is broken in your lives. And may it start within your spirit. Because if it was fulfilled in your spirit, your body, your mind, oh man, it'll rejoice. So, and thank you all for enriching my life. You've made 2018 an incredible year. We grew nearly 30,000 in 2018. That's just remarkable. The two thumbs down, Gary. What do you expect? The Anchor Squad. All right, Gary, that just cracks me up, buddy. All right. Y'all are the best, man. I'll tell you, you've made me a happier spirit. I'll tell you, my life is so much more enriched. Hope to meet all of you, if not on this side, on the other side. And let's just continue to grow. I think this community can't be stopped. I think it's growing. It has so many tendrils now, so many new channels starting, so many voices being added to the unison of voices here. And, you know, that's what it's all about. That's what community is. So rock and roll, folks. Got the New Year's coming, got the big New Year's show. I think we're going to have fun with this. And so enjoy the rest of the day. Those who have the week off, hey, enjoy it, man. Soak it up. And those of you who still have to do the grind, well, I say this to you. You are beautiful. And though it sometimes can be a heavy burden, you're going to do okay. You're going to do fine. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to go back and see our granddaughter. And, you know, there is a reason why the blessings in life happen. I never seen a 9-month-old that could absolutely wear out 4 adults. I kid you not, 4 adults. And I mean, it's like the brigade. And strong. Oh, my. Yeah. That 9-month-old child put a whooping on all of the adults. But I'll tell you, folks, when you see things now from a different point of view, wow. I'll share some stories on that later on. Yeah, and in fact, Gary, that's exactly what's happened. She is spoiled. And And I don't know what, you know, she loves me, and why not? It's because she's a beautiful spirit, just beautiful, folks. I mean, I could get real philosophical on this, but I won't. Thank you for your time. All of you watching today, you're the best. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow at noon, hopefully. And Friday, we still have Chelsea Rose, I think, on for Friday night show. And in the interim, be good to yourself. Love yourself, and then people will fall in love with you. All right, folks. Much to you. Namaset. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk real soon. All right. Bye-bye.